Hi, David Carroll. I'm going to respond first, actually, if you don't mind. I'm a member of the Parsons full-time faculty, so I'm going to address how the Parsons full-time faculty have been discussing this issue, and I'll read our statement that has been issued to this body here, as well as the University Senate. I'm going to ask my Parsons colleagues to stick up for me if necessary. This is a tough crowd. Okay, this statement, and I'll have to bore you with some of the corporate structures that allow us to do these things. This was unanimously agreed upon by a quorum of Parsons faculty members who are elected by their peers to serve as representatives in the Parsons Faculty Assembly Leadership Council. Parsons may not always be the loudest, but we are the largest in terms of faculty and students here. So we felt that our voice needed to be heard, and this is what we said. Number one, and again, this is from the, well, I said it. Number one, we recognize the urgent need for a clear statement in response to the events of April 10th. The new school is an institution that provides a safe haven for study, the affordance of civil rights, and the defense of pacifism. A unified, stable faculty governance across divisions, University Faculty Senate, University Student Senate, deans and provosts remains the collective institutional leadership best suited to review facts, openly discuss, and respond with a thoughtful resolution to this crisis of confidence. We ask for the community's input and patience to allow due process to run its course. Number two, until that process is in place, we're doing it right now, we refrain from making a further statement that attempts to place specific blame. We support the students' right to free speech and assembly. We support the right of students to be involved in the process of the governance of their own education. But this support stops short of acts of illegality and violence. Number four, we are committed to upholding the principles of the institution and its governance and resist efforts to co-opt them towards coercive and non-civil ends. That is the Parsons faculty statement. I would like everyone to notice that we did not place any judgment. We merely stated our position. So we deserve that respect. So thank you.
Well, that's one example of what the faculty are doing. That's one means. It's through divisional, through divisional bodies, and Lang has done the same thing, I believe. If there's someone here who might want to read those, Ken Work sent those around this afternoon. But each divisional faculty should be doing the same thing. The second way to act and express views is through the Senate. Faculty should get in touch with their representatives, and we'll be meeting tomorrow morning, and I would welcome any faculty or any student to email me language that you would like to see in a resolution. And I will raise that language tomorrow in our meeting. That's howell@newschool.edu.
How about this one?
May live to regret this one.
Can I give you one? The Faculty Senate condemns the excessive use of force by President Kerrey. We call for dropping all charges against the students. Suspension procedures against the internal suspension procedures against the students as well.
I think I can remember that, Andrew, but you might send it.
My name is Scott. I'm a graduate student in the Department of Politics. I would like to ask why President Kerrey and Mr. Moskowitz and the rest of the administration insists on referring to the students who occupied the building as terrorists, calling them undemocratic, throwing as many negative labels at them as they possibly can, when they have consistently acted in an undemocratic and repressive way, beginning with the occupation in December and long, long before that. I'm talking about reading of students' emails, the inability until December of the University Student Senate to email the entire student body, the continued inability of any student to email the entire student body or the entire faculty, the hiding of the Board of Trustees and the packing of the Board of Trustees. And I'd like to know what they have to say about that. You want to charge these students with being undemocratic? They charge you with being undemocratic. Where do you stand on that?
Is there an administrator who'd like to answer this?
Linda Reamer. Where's Linda Reamer?
If not, I'll answer the question, which is that this question has been raised about whether the administration is undemocratic.
Jim Miller.
Jim Miller,
Please.
What am I answering?
it's such a good answer. He's not an administrator.
That's right. I'm not going to talk about the administration, my views on the need for democratization and inclusiveness of students and faculty in terms of a vote of no confidence. They're well established. The basis of my email is nothing that I made up. It's two manifestos. Those manifestos were reposted last night at the website New School Reoccupied. Section 1 of one of the manifestos is anti-democratic reflections on occupation. It is an argument against radical liberalism. It is an argument against rule by consensus. I mean, if you take it seriously, and I do take it seriously, and all I meant to say was that it's out there. It was part of the internal debates, because I have many student friends, over what to do vis-a-vis the occupation. And I hope actually that in 2 or 3 weeks, when a little bit of time has passed, we can come back together and talk about the whole repertoire of tactics that are available to affect democratic social change. I think that's an actual serious conversation that's worth having. I wrote a book about it 20 years ago that has to do in part with the tension between rule by consensus and accountable leadership, the way in which an experimental effort to have a non-hierarchical organization can, under pressure, produce the perverse result that a very small minority ends up silencing others and driving them to actions that many of them disagree with. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about the internal politics of what's happened. My comment was simply on 2 manifestos that are posted on a website, and that it seems to me that if you take ideas seriously, you respond and you say, look, this is one rationale. I know as well as anyone that a lot of people, certainly in the first occupation and even in the second, would not agree with those manifestos. But those manifestos are out there, and that's what I was referring to.
What about the manifestos? What about the events that occurred on Friday?
You asked me a question about why I wrote what I wrote. It was about manifestos. I also wrote about Bob Kerrey's, what I regarded as not very useful, belligerent statements to the New York Post. I put them in circulation so that all faculty would see them. I share many of the views that have been articulated about this.
You don't think you don't think email targets the ability to have dialogue?
If you'd like to get up and ask a question, why don't